Ride along live, worldwide. Feel the beat, feel the vibe. Amazing host leading the ride. Power to the people we shine. Giving fans what they need. Caribbean spirit, let's succeed. Every show with a good deed. Together we plant the seed. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song. From island to island strong, with the host we belong. Energy high, heart so bright. Tune in, feel the light. Global love taking flight. Every ride a sheer delight. Making waves across the seas. Love and joy in the breeze. Ride along live if you please. Bringing hope with such ease. Ride along, join the dance, let's sing the song.
Looking for a hassle-free way to rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
It's time to do better. Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan now offers new and improved options that make health insurance affordable for small to medium businesses. Good medical cover gives you a competitive edge and takes care of the people that take care of your business. Get a better plan to build a better business. Call Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
Ride along live, Monday, on the ride. Yeah. Let's take time out to welcome the folks watching for the first time on Instagram. Yeah, we got the Instagram live link up as well. Yeah. So as you guys come and go ahead and share up the thing, share it up. It's Monday, man. Lovely Monday. Hey, Kathleen, how you doing? I see you there. This is what I want everybody to share, because this is a very important conversation that we're going to have today, guys. It's a conversation similar to what we had a few months ago, but it seems like you just can't have too much of this. This young lady contacted us, right, because of what happened to her. Now, for many, many years, she went through an ordeal like no other, to the point where she felt it is the time that she come out and share her story. Now, she never shared this story before. This is her first time. So you could imagine the emotions that she have to go through in order to come on a platform like this and talk about it, especially, guys, when it's dealing with sexual assault. And it dated back from since she was a little child. We got a lot to talk about, guys. A whole lot to talk about. The General, how you doing? Yeah. Jennifer, how you doing? Nice. Everybody share it. You know, Facebook is still on their whatever they're on, whenever they're ready, yeah? Because, you know, sometimes they don't send a notification. Yeah. All right, so sometimes you don't get notification at all, and that's what's happening here with Facebook. Oftentimes they don't. All right, oftentimes they don't, so you have to send out the notification. I want all your friends and family to join in this conversation, guys, because as I said, it's an important conversation that we've been having for quite a long time. Before we start and bringing our guests, I'd like to thank and big up our product sponsor, guys. We have a new product sponsor, and that is Lenovo Pro open air Bluetooth headphones. And I gotta thank Lenovo for sponsoring this program here today. Yes. Big up to Lenovo, their Bluetooth headphones. So we're urging you guys to click that link and check it out. It is one of the best. It's slowly becoming one of my favorite headphones, right? And Lenovo is gonna send us over a few, and I'm gonna make sure that I get a couple off to you guys, some sample to you guys as well to test it out and thing. All right. So big up to Lenovo and the Pro 5.4 Bluetooth headphone, proud sponsor of this program here tonight. All right, guys, let's go right into it, guys. Let's go right into it. As I said earlier, my next guest had been through a lot, and it's been months. She had been communicating with us because she wanted to have the opportunity to share her story. Well, today is the day, and we'd like to welcome Clesa on the platform here with us. Now, before I even bring on Clesa, let me first say that Clesa will not be showing her face today. There's a lot of things that she's still working through. So you won't see Clesa's face. Instead, you'll see this nice, beautiful flowers. But in fact, indeed, you will hear Clesa's voice. All right, welcome to the platform. Clesa, how are you? Are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
All right,
Hi.
good evening to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm okay.
All right. Well, as I said earlier, I know this is a difficult time to share this particular story. It's something that you have been holding in for a very long time. So we understand the emotions that that's at play at this moment. But we are here just to listen. I am here just to listen, and I know that your story will be of comfort to a lot of our viewers. So where do we start, Clesa? Where do we start? How did your story start? Let's start. You know what? Let's start from as a young girl growing up. Tell us about your
So,
life. Yeah, go ahead.
yes, so I would start by first I want to say hello to everyone logged in on your program,
Yes.
everyone listening. I hope that what I have to say would not just be falling on deaf ears, but it will be taken into consideration and people would listen, actually listen, and not just listening, but listening to the right thing, if you're moving on with information to anyone or wherever, just be sure to deliver the right messages, yeah?
Right.
And so with that, I would like to begin by saying it all started, well, I grew up on the lands, right?
Right.
Right in the heart of Guelph. And it was a single parent household. My mom, at the time, she had 3 girls. I was the youngest of the 3 girls, right? And so our childhood days, it wasn't as bright as, we didn't really have normal childhood days. It was just children looking after children, which shouldn't have been.
Right.
And and so we were being unsupervised some of the times. Children, when they're not supervised, they have a tendency of ending up in places where they shouldn't be.
Right.
So we used to be all up on the jetty, everywhere, all over the place. And during those times, there were pedophiles all over, and I have met up with some of them. My sisters have also met up with some of them, you know. Yeah. And so it was not an easy, growing up in that area. The lands, whenever I walk up the lands, is nothing but memories of all the things that went on that shouldn't have gone on, you know. And it is just so sad that people who were there and who were they had knowledge of what's going on, or they may have suspected something, they didn't do anything. We as children, I'm just my sisters I'm focusing on as well, but me being one of the victims and having seen so many things that I shouldn't have seen, it
Right.
just, yeah, it's traumatizing, as I said to you earlier. So we were
All
on
right.
the lands, and there were guys everywhere. There's this one guy I remember, and I'm speaking from when I was about age 5.
5. Right.
He was on the jetty. He's always on the jetty in the sea, and we would be there in the sea, yeah, and they would take advantage. That guy, I remember his name quite clearly. He's still alive. He still lives in Guelph, right? His mom had passed away some years now, but I remember his name, and every time I see him, I don't know if he remembers, but each and every one of those guys that I've crossed paths with that did the unthinkable, I remember, you know.
Let me actually
Some of them are even well known.
let me just jump in right here. So you were 5 years old.
Mhm.
Right? You was 5 years old. Um, you were living with your mother, your father. Who were you living with at the
There
time?
was Yeah, and as I said in the beginning, it was a single parent household, so it was just my mom
Your
looking
mom.
after her girls,
Right.
And well, the three of us at the time, we're of different fathers, so, and that too, it leaves a mark in terms of, you can only understand, you can get the sense of what kind of life my mother had, like whether it was being taken advantage of by men, because for a guy to come in your life and see that you have one girl child and then impregnates you and then leave you, then the other one comes in, see you have two girls, impregnates you, leave you, and then and so on, And over the years it went on like that, because my mother had, like, now she has about 7 of us, and we're all different dads. So it was that kind of thing. And once there's only one parent trying everything that she can, well, in most cases it's the mother, because the mother gave birth, so she wouldn't just give up on her child like that. But it's easier for a man, a heartless man, to just walk away and say, hey, I'm not doing this, or hey, I'm not man enough to stand up and take responsibility for what's mine. And those were the cases, so she was left with just us to look after us. But I must say, and I must congratulate her. She did her best. People may say, "Oh, she was this and she was that." Nobody knew her pain, and even I'm telling my story now, nobody knows her story. But
Right.
yet, people will see her and judge her. People will see her and say things that they don't know. There's always a reason for something. People don't just act, unless there's something going on, or unless maybe you're crazy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
What type of relationship that
So yeah, we were.
type of relationship you had with your mom?
Mhm. Sorry.
What type of relationship you have with your mom? Was it such that you could have sit and talk with her? Did she encourage dialogue? Were you guys closely knitted in terms of conversating about things that's affecting you and things that you're going through at 5 years old, 5, 6 years old?
No, to be honest, to completely honest, no. My mother is I don't know what word to use to describe. I don't even know. I don't even understand her mind, but as I say, I wouldn't judge her. Only she knows her pain and knows what she's feeling and thinking. Only she and God knows that. But the relationship was, I remember as a young child, she did her best. She did what she could. She never worked in terms of having a professional job, but she did washing, cooking, cleaning, for people and stuff like that. So, but she was never like based in an office or, just like 8 to 4 jobs, that kind of thing. She never had that. She never experienced that. And so, um, not having experience secondary level education as well, I think that left a big gap in terms of understanding, children and how you're supposed to raise them and how you're supposed to be with them and the type of relationship that you're supposed to have with them, because what was not given to me, I'm now giving that to my child, because I know better, so I would do better. But my
Right.
mother at that time, she clearly she didn't know, or and then she didn't even have help, I would say, because being a single parent and having to raise all of your kids on your own, and her having been abused herself as a child by her siblings and other people in the society, in the community, it sort of probably affected her so greatly that we don't really we cannot connect on a level, in terms of mother daughter. That never happened, but we would make joke like as if we're sisters. That's how we go on, yeah, we would make joke like that, like siblings. But when it comes to mother daughter, there was never ever that um level of communication and
All right.
connection.
Just bring everyone up to speed right now. We're speaking to Clesa, and Clesa grew up in Guave, right? And as a young
Are you
child,
there?
yeah, I'm here. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me, Clesa? All right. So yes, so Clesa grew up in Guave, in St. John, Grenada. And as a young child, she's seen it all. She's seen the worst, and she's been through a lot. And we're gonna get to the part that really changed her life
Yeah, I'm
forever.
hearing you now.
Yeah. All right. No, I'm just giving a. I'm just
Yeah,
giving.
I'm hearing you.
Hold on one second. I'm just giving a quick update to your story thus far for the folks who just came in. So at a very tender age, she was sexually molested, right? And it didn't really stop there for her. She'll continue her story from there. But one of the shocking things that I want you guys to remember as we go forward is that relationship that she had with her mother, right? And it's a single family home, so the father was not
Okay.
present. So the mother had to do everything and be everything, right? And quite possibly the people in the neighborhood probably understood the dynamics at play, hence the reason why it happened to her and probably happened to her so regularly. So let's go back. Let's take it back from there and continue. We're just going to listen from here. Go ahead. Are you able to hear me, Clesa? Okay, so we trying to reconnect with her. Clesa, are you there? All right, let me see if we could reconnect with her audio. Are you there? Hello? I know she did have some connection problems earlier.
Hello?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes.
Yes. So continue from there, from where you
Yes, I'm
stopped,
here.
and we're gonna listen from here. Go ahead.
I'm here. Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. We're listening. Go
Are
ahead
you
with this.
hearing me?
Go ahead with the story from there.
I'm yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear. Yeah.
All right. We seem to have a
Yes.
delay.
So yeah, we grew up in a house on the lands, very close to the jetty, and then yeah, very close to the jetty. And so I also witnessed my mother. She was being held. she was being held in her throat by one of my siblings' dads, and I had to jump in. I had to put my mouth that day. I used the obscene language I could remember clearly. I cussed at him so he can release my mother's neck because he was holding onto her neck so tightly. And I'm sure if I hadn't said anything at that time, she probably would have been a dead woman by now. I witnessed that. And um, in November, yeah, when I was in Grenada in November, I saw the man and he was, he's just looking at me like nothing happened. But I remember everything. I remember everything. My mother used to send us to him at his house to get money so she can look after us. And yeah, he used to want to molest my sister. That's the one we were always together. We were always doing things together, everywhere together. And it's just so much. It goes on and on. I'm just like, I'm in a mood now to just call names, but I know where that will lead. But
No,
there are a lot of
we're not.
pedophiles in Guelph, a lot. Most of them are of, old age now, and they are like some of them are becoming old now, but they're there. They're everywhere. They're all over. And, walking the streets of Guelph, I used to be uneasy because everywhere I turn, left, right, center, there's a pedophile. There's somebody to remind me that, hey, that thing that happened, the memory never goes away, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Let's pause for a quick second. Could you hear me? Because I want to make sure we have good synchronization. If there's a delay, you may need to go back out and come back in. Are you hearing me in real time?
The memory never goes away. It's just,
All right.
it's been traumatic.
All right. Let me reconnect her and that she could come back in because she's not hearing me in real time. And it's important that we have a real time conversation here. I alerted her that we're not going to call any names at the moment because it is a lot of the individuals are yet to be confirmed from our perspective. So we had made it blatantly clear that we're not going to be calling any names today. All right, Clesa, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure
I'm here.
I just want to make sure we had a real-time conversation. There was a major delay. That's why I had to cut you off and bring you back in.
Um,
All right. Okay. So
okay.
here's what we're not going to do today. We're not going to call any names. I know that it might feel like you
Yeah,
really
I
want to,
know. I
but
know. I know better. I know
right,
better. I'm just saying.
right,
I know
right.
better. Trust me.
Um, when all of this stuff was happening to you, Clisha, right? Did you speak to anyone about it? I know you was pretty young. What action did you take? Because this is pretty tough, pretty difficult for a 5, 6 year old child to go through all by herself. Are you hearing me
Yeah,
again?
well, I didn't speak to anyone because number one, I didn't know who to speak to at that time, at that tender age. I don't know. Yes, yes, I'm hearing you. Yeah. At that tender age, I wouldn't have known and didn't know who to speak to, what to say to them, and I've had an experience whereby I was speaking to my grandmother. I think she had asked me a question, and it was both my sister and I. We answered truthfully, and she just told us in our faces that we're lying. So, if you have your grandmother calling you a liar, telling you that she doesn't believe what you're saying, then that gives you reason to think and feel that, okay, I cannot come to you with anything else because you wouldn't believe. And that's what it's been like. We never really had anybody to talk to. We never had anybody to. So, in other words, those things happened and it was just left alone. It just happened. My sister, she knows of the stories. I know of the stories. I have another sister. I'm sure some of those stories that she's hearing tonight, if she's on the live or if she's gonna hear it afterwards, she might be shocked as well because we never really had conversations with anyone in regards to that, you know. It was just like me in the middle of a storm, not knowing what to do. And then I'm all grown up now and everything is hitting me like a ton of bricks. And when I think of life and I think of children out there and all the things that must be going on, it's crazy. You know, and then the worst part of it is that nothing gets done about it. That's the seriousness of it. It doesn't go anywhere, you know, it doesn't, people don't help, you know, people talk, but they don't do anything. They don't put actions to their words. And that is why, as an individual, as an adult, today, I don't believe people's words. You have to put actions with your words, or even if you just act without saying anything, you know, your actions will speak a million words. But I'm not taking anybody's words and promises. No, I don't do promises either because, yeah, as they say, promises are comfort to a fool. You
Let me ask
know,
you this question,
so people
Clisha.
just
Clisha, it started at
okay.
it started at 5 years old. At what age did it continue
hmm With
before it?
us being having to going onto the jetty and guys just
How what age
well
did it
throughout
start?
as 5, 6, 7, 8, because at those years I was still living in Guelph, right on the lands. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I was 11, we moved from the lands at age 10
Wow. So you endured.
because I remember clearly when I did my common entrance. It was at the time when I did my common entrance. I passed my exam and I went on to the St. Rose Modern Secondary School. At that time, those years, my teenage years, you know, I was fine. There was no one, um, yeah, there was no one, I should say, harassing me at that time. So what I was left with was the trauma from all those younger years, you know. So going through high school, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I had, you know, those heavy burdens on me, always having to think back. And, you know, sometimes you're just there and you're not even thinking of it, but then suddenly it hits you just like that.
Yeah. Did you, was it anybody, a brother, elder, somebody, someone else that you trusted that you could have alerted? Because this is devastating for a 5 year old, from a 5 to 10 year old, to go through something like that on their own. A brother, anyone, anyone?
Yeah, there was no one, no, no, because my brothers are much younger than I am. You know, like I said, at the beginning, it was the three girls, me being the last of the three girls, and then we had the two older girls. Then after me, we had my mother had more children. So the boys, you know, they're much younger than me. So you know, I think if I was 5 at that time, they were much younger. So there's nothing I couldn't have spoken to anyone. You know,
What about a,
it's just one of
what
those
about,
things, just going through
what
life.
about, what about a
I don't know.
teacher?
And you know, sorry,
What about a teacher? Did they notice any red flags?
the the teachers, the teachers. I don't think that they had noticed any red flags because I was such a normal child at school. Even every question just got back to me instead of people questioning. I was the one doing the questioning, like, but in my mind, you know, because I could have seen that everybody, teachers, you know, principal, other students, they're just about their business. They're just in their world and they're living their life. But in my head, I was living another kind of life. Like, So it was just me that fully understood what was happening. I never spoke to any teacher. Um, Nobody knew. Yeah, no, there was nobody to confide in. There was no one, even though there was so many people around you. And at the end, it's like, then what's the point in all these people being around you and you can't even get one to speak to? Nobody asked me any questions, you know. Yeah,
Did
nobody
it
asked questions. There are stories about my sisters that people may know, but they don't really know the full truth. So then they go about and they say all sorts of things. But
I was,
yeah,
I was gonna ask,
sorry.
did it did it affect your school in any kind of way? Because I spoke to quite a few
Mm-hmm.
survivors of sexual abuse, and one thing that they always said is that their behavior pattern change, although they may not talk to someone, but their behavior sort of change. So they may be they may fight, they may be, just all kind of different behaviors because they want somebody to notice that something is going on. They want someone to ask a question. Did your school get affected? Were you getting good grades in school? Were you getting bad grades in school?
To be honest, I have been getting good grades in school. The only thing teachers were complaining about was how intelligent I was. And to this day, I'm still intelligent. I was one of the kids in school without books and without pencils and stuff like that. But yet, for all, I would be topping the spelling bee and getting all my spelling. I love spelling.
Right.
Would get all my mathematics correct. People were surprised in terms of the teachers because, and so I think maybe that's one of the reasons why they probably wouldn't think that something's going on with me because, I was just a normal child. Like my behavior at school was normal. I was never boisterous. I was never, just always by myself. I had friends, yes, but when there's time to be by myself, I would be by myself, but I've always been the good child in class. Yeah, it never interrupted my schooling, my education. My behavior was on point. During primary school, during secondary school, I was just decent. And if today I'm still decent, and people who know me now, they always say, "But you're so strong." Like someone said to me, they've never met someone as strong as I am. They said they don't know how I could have gone through all of what I went through and still be smiling, still be happy, still be strong, because I've always been speaking to myself. Some people may think it's crazy if you speak to yourself, but you have to learn to speak to yourself first before you can actually speak to others. I've always spoken to myself. So, in other words, I am my own mentor. I am my own therapist. I am my own educator. Most of the things that I've learned it on my own. I've grasped on my own. I try to pick up by myself. It's not like, oh, father was there to teach me this. I
Right.
don't have that kind of I didn't have that kind of exposure in terms of, father-daughter relationship, but I still know how a man should treat a woman or how men should be to their little girls. I know that. So it's things that some things just should come naturally to people. Like you shouldn't have to take a class for it. It's just basic instincts. Just you should know. You just should know. So, and I think that's what it was with me. That and the things going on around me, the things I've been through, the things that I saw going on. I grew up not wanting to be, that type of person. So I just evolved into this person that I am today.
Yeah. When you speak to yourself, or when you spoke to yourself at this time, what are you saying? What are you telling yourself? Because I know a lot of people, and this is more popular than a lot of people think. The average is that over 80 something percent of all young women that grew up in the Caribbean, in some way, shape, or form, they were sexually molested. So this is a widespread thing. And a lot of people go through this And even at the age of 50, 60, they're all grown men and women in particular. It affects them up to today. Some of them have erratic behavior. Some of them decide not to even be with a man, never get married, or never have children. So it affects them in all sorts of ways. They're still coping with it. But when you have to cope with it and talk to yourself, what are you telling yourself? Yeah, guys, keep in mind there is a somewhat of a delay until she respond. Clesa, are you hearing me? All right, we'll reconnect with her. She's going through a lot. Remember, guys, there is a lot of emotions at play. This
Say
young lady,
again, when I have to cope with.
yeah. What are you telling yourself? What are you? How are you speaking to yourself, and what are you saying? Okay, the delay is extensive. Let me reconnect with her again so she could come back on. I'm also going to open up the phone lines because I could see a lot of people in the chat who are faced with something similar, one way or another. A lot of people never develop this strength, or even at an older age, would develop the strength to even come and talk about this on a platform. A lot of people just sort of kind of put it in the back of their head, right? But it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of just energy to come on. And I'm happy that she's here telling her story. I wish that there were not these instances where we have this internet connectivity issue. Let me see if I could get her on the phone. That might work out even better, so that she could share her story without any issues. Let me see if I could call her up, and that might work out even better. Stand by, guys. Let me make that call. Yeah, I think the phone line might be much better to do. All right, are you there? Hello? Yeah. She seemed to be having some connectivity issue, guys. Again, you're watching Ride Along Live, and we were speaking to a young lady, Clesa, and she went through a lot at a very young age. She was sexually molested, and she had no one in her corner, not a mother. Clesa, are you there? Nah, connectivity issues. Yeah, she's having some serious connectivity issue, guys. Let's see if we could resolve that on her end. And as soon as she sort that out, we'll get her back on the program. So in the meantime, guys, let me open up the phone lines because again, from the little that we learned, the little that we heard so far, we learned quite a lot, right? Her mother, well, the relationship with her mother with her mom was not as close as how mother-daughter relationship should be. So a lot of the things that that was happening to her, she couldn't speak about it to her mom. Clesa, are you there with us? Hello?
I'm here. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, but there was a major delay. There's a major
Hello?
delay. Yeah, there's still a major delay. Are you hearing me now?
I'm hearing you really low. I went out and came back in, but I'm hearing you low now.
Let's do it on the phone lines. Come out from here and let me call you on the WhatsApp. Let's do it on WhatsApp. All right?
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. All
Okay.
right. Yeah, let me call on WhatsApp. It'll be better to do it on WhatsApp. Let me make that call right now. Yeah, guys, I was saying this is a common thing, eh? This is a very, very common thing, and most of the women that's watching, they probably even know that. Caller, you like? Clesa, are you there? No, she's not. All right, yeah, we're definitely having a connectivity issue. Someone just messaged me, And from the little that they heard, they say that they're watching in tears because they have somewhat of a similar story. The only thing was, after the said after the about 15, 10, 10, at the age of 15 or so, her mom picked up on it. So she went through about 7 years of the abuse with nobody even understanding the pressure and pain that she was going through. Krisha, are you there?
I'm here, yes.
Yeah, the WhatsApp don't seem to be working, and I hope that the connection here hold up because we're having a delay. So let me go straight into it, Clisha. How has this? I was saying, when you talk to yourself, what are you saying? What are you saying to yourself to inspire yourself?
When I still do talk to myself now, but before, like when I was younger, when I used to speak to myself, I used to ask myself questions like, why, and how is this even possible? Like, because you're surrounded by society and everyone has ears and eyes. Why wasn't anyone doing anything about it? And is that the way, or was that the way our society was in terms of things like that are going on, and you have knowledge of it, and then you just choose to keep your mouth, you keep choose to keep your lips together and not. So yeah, I used to ask myself why, but now I don't ask myself why anymore, um, because I've grown to understand that people go through different things in life for different types of reasons, and it what I went through, it didn't break me, it didn't turn me into a bad person, because growing up in Guave is you go somewhere and people ask you, where are you from? From the minute you say Guave, they look at you in some kind of disgusting way, they label you. And me personally, as an individual, as a woman, I'm not in any of this nonsense, and it's just heartbreaking. The only thing that happened to me, as I said, as a child, innocently, which was not supposed to have happened. But during my teens and all through my 20s, now I'm in my 30s, I've always been a decent person, because when I look back and I look at the world now and how things are and the type of things that go on, it's just I don't know. Sometimes I tell myself I don't know. I just don't know. But here I am. I'm still here. I'm still strong. I'm still smiling. I'm still pleasant. But the thing I don't like is that those people that are or should be held accountable, they're just living their normal lives. I go to Calico supermarket when I was in Grenada. I go to Calico supermarket and there's one in there. He works in there. I can't even shop in peace. I'm not saying that he harasses me whenever I go in there, but whenever I see him, just the sight of him dates back to the time, and I remember clearly. The vivid picture comes in my mind and in my eyes as to what he did. And I'm like, look at him. He's just working. He's living his life. He's got a girlfriend. They live together. He's working and earning money. He's living his life, you know. And I just ask myself, do these people even consider? Do they stop and think of the lives they've destroyed? Or to them, they haven't destroyed any lives at all? Do they even think about that? I'm speaking of men. I know there are women who abuse men, children as well, but mostly it's men, and we all know that. You know, it's mostly men that do these things.
Andrea is
So when I
asking.
talk to myself,
Andrea
I
is asking.
motivate myself. Yeah.
Andrea
Hmm.
is asking, what is your profession? And did your professional life help you ease the trauma?
Yeah, it did, because I always I'm the type of person, I've always been working. I'm always doing something. I'm either doing hair. Um, when I was teaching, I was fine. When I was in the media, reporting and all that, I was fine. All the jobs that I did when I was in Grenada, I did it well. You know, I had no problem, just as how going through my school days in primary school, having, you know, the ordeal and the trauma, I was just quiet in class. I was just decent. And so on the job, it was the same for me. You know, people just liked me, you know. So yeah, it was the jobs did help. You got my mind off of it. And then, you know, at some point in time you have to tell yourself, you know what? You have to build up the courage and say, I'll move on. I need to move on because you cannot keep having those things hovering over you because all it does is weigh you down. And like right now, I don't hold on, you know, I'm not holding on to those things anymore. I just felt that I should speak about it because nobody knows about it. So I said I would like to speak to Junior about it and, you know, make people aware that those things did happen. And I'm sure more of these things are still happening. I'm sure of it.
Yes, yes. And we're happy that you came on and you decided to share your story because a lot of people are watching and they're emotional about it. They have recollection, they have memories, they have stories as well. And that would help people start sharing their story. Probably not on a platform like this, or probably with their friend. Just speak out. I think it's therapeutic. How have this whole
Yes.
how have this whole ordeal affected you, especially in terms of relationship?
To be honest, in terms of relationships, after those years, right, in through my years in secondary school, I never liked guys. I never wanted them around me. I couldn't stand them. Um, at one point, I became a tomboy, but not so much, you know, like how the tomboys are like right now. But it was just simple tomboy. You know, I would be wearing pants a lot, didn't like skirts, you know, climbing trees with my cousins and things like that. And I think during those years, which were my teenage years, I think that was my safe place and safe space, you know, in being a tomboy. But it didn't last long because a couple years after that, I started to discover my true self, and I'm like, no, I'm not a boy. I don't need to disguise anything. I don't need to disguise myself. I need to find my purpose in life and find myself, be who I really am, be who I'm meant to be. And so I became this, you know, fancy, glamorous. I mean, what decent woman don't like nice things? We all do. We like fancy stuff. And so that's the type of person I am now. But um, in terms of relationship, um, it's been it put a hole on me in terms of when I was in school, secondary school. I never had a boyfriend. Most girls had boyfriends. They were with, at the time, bus conductors and drivers were trending, and they would come in school and they had big $20 and big $50, and I'm just there. I probably had probably $2 or maybe 50 cents. Imagine in secondary school, there were times when I didn't have lunch and I had to go into the pipe, fill my belly with water just to feel like I have something in there to, you know, to go back and sit in the class to take up my next lesson. But I never envied those children because, you know, after having gone through what I gone through, I just thought to myself, they could be doing all sorts of things to be having this money. Because I mean, what child at that age where can you be getting all this money to come to school as girls, you know? And they having all chicken and butter bread and big soft drink, and I'm just there sometimes with a simple little sandwich with the cheese and butter inside it for maybe 50 cents or 75 cents. But that never bothered me because at least I used to tell myself, at least I have something to eat, you know? At least I had something to eat. So I never envied anyone. And yeah, in terms of relationship, like right now, presently, I'm trying to love someone because this thing has put so much hate inside of me towards men that I even tell my partner, I said, I don't trust men. I don't care who they are. I don't trust them. And in order for me to trust a man, that man has to really prove himself, because they can be showing me the greatest and still there will be a little space there for disappointments, and that's just so that I wouldn't be totally devastated if in fact something were to happen. So yeah, but yeah, it's in terms of relationship, I was never a guy kind of girl. I used to stay away from them. Yeah.
Right, right,
And
right.
whenever I'm walking the streets of Guelph and they say something, I will be cussing them out, because I know what they're like. I know what they give, and I'm not growing up. Your mind grows as well, so yeah, you become more aware, and you get to understand life more, and you learn more about wrong and right. And if you're a person that always you're always for the right, then you wouldn't tolerate any type of nonsense, you know? So you
Right.
would deal with it and stop it in its tracks before anything deteriorates or gets worse.
I'm hearing it from you, and I think Andrea pointed it out as well. Absent of professional counseling, because I don't think that you did get professional counseling. You seem to have triumphant. You seem to have overcome such devastating, you know, life growing up. A lot of people, it
Mhm.
affects them in so many different ways. But I still see there are some pieces in between where I still believe that you need to speak to someone, professional counseling, and try to even it might help you. I should say it might help you even cope better with all of this, because one thing that you don't want to put on yourself is start blaming yourself or start to point the finger back at yourself like you were somehow
Mhm.
responsible for this, and many other things that professional counselors will help you get over. So I still do believe that that should be an option on the table. But you seem so strong. You dealt with it. You deal
Well,
it.
yes. Hmm. Yes, I have. I have dealt with it, and I'm anything that were to come from now on, moving forward, then I will deal with it, and that's why I have a very my instincts are very, very sharp, and most of the times it never leads me wrong. Most of the times I'm always right about what I'm thinking or what if I see something from afar, it usually, is what I would, make it out to be or think it to be. But when it comes to, as you said, the counseling part, you know what? Grenada lacks a lot of that. And not having gotten the opportunity to have counseling at the time when I needed it, to be honest with you, right now, it's irrelevant in my present situation because I have grown so strong. And as I said to you, I've been mentoring myself, talking to myself, right? And when I talk to myself, I feel better because most times people go to see therapists and counselors, and some of them they get worse or they never change. But over the years, just imagine not having um, access to any of that, and I did pretty well. And you know what? I can do even more. So yeah, to me, I was a born counselor. Like I just counsel myself, and today I give my child that same counseling. I speak to him. There's nothing that he doesn't know and understand. He's at a tender age, and I explain everything the way it should be explained, and I let him understand every single thing, so that he's aware and he knows, so that if anything were to happen, he wouldn't be left asking questions, or it wouldn't come as a surprise to him because he's used to hearing that sort of thing. And had I had that from the very beginning, then the things I had gone through probably wouldn't have happened, because then you have um, strict parents looking over you and protecting you, you know. So the life that I didn't get as a child, I try my best and I give my son that so that he can turn out to be the man that he should be, you know. Yeah, but in terms of the counseling part, Grenada lacks. It really lacks. You understand? Because if we had that down there, a lot of children would not have been going through, right? They wouldn't be going through what I went through. You understand?
Yes.
Most times it's right in the homes, you know. And I've had experiences. Like I had one uncle, I'm not gonna lie, I had one uncle who he placed his hand on my breast, you know, and yeah, I had to fling his hand off. I'm like, what the? And in situations like that, if you're a respectable young lady, and you know, things like that cause you to be disrespectful. And then they go and say, oh, she's rude, she's this, she's that. But then what did you do to get that reaction from that person? What did you do to cause that person to flame up like that? Like, are they crazy to just go off on you like that? You understand? So it's those things. So when it comes to therapists and all that, you know, if people can only learn how to navigate and how to speak to themselves, they can. If that you feel that there's nobody that you can talk to, you can turn to yourself. You can speak to yourself. You can mentor yourself. It worked for me. You know, it just magically works for me. And I think and I believe that if people want it to work for them, then it can. Because, you know, just as having someone in your life and tolerating disrespect from them, you know, it would happen if only you allow it. You understand? So it's within the person. It's all within the individual. It's you have the power. Everybody got power, but some of us don't know how much of power we have. And then not only that, we don't know how to use it. And that's where the problem is. We always think that we need to run to somebody, and need to run there, and we need to. Because in my case, when you ask me, wasn't there anyone? Because you know, my answer was there were people around, but there was nobody I could have gone to. You
Right.
know, and that led me to myself. It gave me no choice. It led me to myself. And yeah, from ever since, I've been my own mentor. I've even had to give people advice. Even my mom, I had to give her advice and tell her sometimes, hey, this is what you're doing is not right. And, you know, and she always look up to me. Like sometimes I become the mom and she's the child, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And what can we do? This is life. And, you know, everybody's got different gifts, and we just have to know how to use it. We
So
have to know how to use it. But yeah,
we have quite a few women watching, and probably even men who have been through this type of sexual assault, right? How would
hmm
you advise them to cope or to deal? Because I don't know if you could really cope, but how do you would you advise them to deal with their past?
okay. So in that case, one of the things I wanted to do was to go to the police, right? It doesn't matter how much years gone past that crimes of that nature happened, you can always report it. So you can go to the police, you can make if you remember dates, once you have information such as dates and time and place, you can go to the police. If you're really, really um, traumatized over it and it's affecting you, you can go to the police, make first step and go to the police and make a report or make your reports. And yeah, and you take it from there. It may be difficult, but in the end, it's all worth it. And then the people, sometimes they say, oh, you have to face your fears. The people, the perpetrators and the pedophiles and so on, the best thing to do is to avoid them, you know, is to just avoid them. Me being in Guelph, I could not have avoided them because every time I go to the supermarket, there's one. I go to the lands to fish on the jetty, there's one or two or three.
Right.
They're everywhere. But in that case, I avoided them by not speaking to them. I just, pass my way. I'm focusing on where I'm going and I'll just be going. Yeah. So you avoid them. You can go to the police and see what you can do. You speak to you these days it's really hard to confide in people, and then people are like they cannot be trusted because they give you the feeling that you can trust them, and then in the end it's just a whole lot of backstabbing and hypocrisy, and that's not right. That's not helping.
Yes. Yes. Well, you took the initiative.
It doesn't help.
You took the
You're gonna
initiative.
help somebody that don't know and put in more the story that they didn't tell you and put all kind of nonsense, and it creates more trauma, in other words, you know so
Yeah.
yeah,
I was
so going to the police would be ideal because the police are there to keep confidentiality. And
right.
yeah, if only maybe there's somebody really close to you that you really trust and you really know that person inside out, and you want to take a chance to trust them. Yeah, but then yeah, you have to be careful because and then yeah, use my tactic. Talk to yourself, pray to God and talk to yourself, speak to yourself, be your own mentor, be your own best friend that you can run to whenever something happens. Like to be honest, I grew up in Guelph, right?
Hmm.
I'm in my 30s. I've never been on a cruise. I've never been on the rum runner, right? I've never been to White in the Moonlight. I've never been to that black show, the guy with the dreads does have, Talpree. I've never been to any of that. You understand?
Hmm.
So growing up in Guelph and as I said, I've always been good at school and in school. So as an adult, still, those things never appeal to me. Even party, I've never been to parties. Everybody everywhere in Guelph, and I'm inside. I'm indoors doing things that make me happy. I like my own personal and private space. I like to read. I like every day I read the news. I read the news so much.
Right.
I like the news. I like to sit down and fix my hair. I read a good book. Look, I have a stack of books. I read books. Do things to occupy yourself and your brains. Not everything you have to be here and there and everywhere gallivanting with people to put you in trouble in the end. You know, every Easter, everybody's everywhere on the beaches. It's nice to go out, but we all know that Easter time, a lot of bad things happen. Just make a year and say, okay, this time I'm gonna be careful and stay at home, do something. There's nothing wrong in that. But people are like, those who know me, some of them, they will be like, you don't go anywhere, you're living under a rock. I say, I'm happy once I'm content.
Right. 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 So I
I
guess
said once I'm content,
I guess
it's
the
not.
story is
Yeah.
love yourself. Love yourself.
Yes,
Love yourself. That's the important.
love yourself. Yeah, and they can speak to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And
There's
and
nothing
finally,
wrong in speaking to
and, and,
yourself.
and
Mhm.
finally you contacted us. You really wanted to get this story out.
Yeah.
Why do you believe? Why do you think now was the time, the right time, to have to ventilate on that story? I think it's a great time, but why did you pick now as the time?
Yeah, to be honest, because now I feel extremely stronger, and now I can stand up and speak and say. But times before I might have been breaking down if I were to recall or if I were to speak, you know. So now I'm strong enough to stand up and say, yes, this happened, and I'm not afraid to speak about it because
Right.
I'm speaking fact. You understand?
Right.
So yeah. I'm strong. I'm much, much stronger now. And that's why nothing really bothers me anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore.
Right.
Life is unpredictable, you know?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's
Well,
unpredictable.
listen, I think you were successfully able to reach a lot of people with your story, because as I said, the statistic is so many of our sisters have been sexually molested. It's very high, and shockingly, a lot of them, a lot of you probably who's watching right now could tell the story. A lot of people leave through that trauma without even seeking counseling, right? So they leave through that. And sometimes you probably don't even know it, but it comes out in many different ways. Some people, sometimes when they're angry or sometimes they might be taking it out on their kids, just subliminal, they just something just happens and they trip, but they may not even know that that might be the cause of certain things that they do in their life. But you were able to cope with it. Your coping mechanism worked for you, and possibly someone that's watching right now might use some of the mechanism that you use, and that might work for them as well. But we thank you for developing the strength to come on this platform and share your story to help others. Any last word you want to get out there before we wrap up?
So I just want to say to just as I have opened with saying that you know, I hope that every word that was spoken here, everybody will take it into consideration. And please, please, people with girls, you please watch your girls. Don't trust guys with your girl children. Just don't leave them unattended, not even for 2 minutes. You know, it only takes a split, one little second. You just watch your kids, be your kids' bodyguard, so you wouldn't have to regret. You won't have no regrets. You have to watch the boys as well, but we all know girls, watch your girls. Please watch your children. Don't leave your children with strangers. They're not fruits of vegetables, they're human beings. Just take care of your kids and focus on them, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I have to say. I know there are a lot of there are a lot of responsible parents, mothers, as you say, and there are also the irresponsible ones. So for the irresponsible ones, please, please look after your children. Be their protector, be their bodyguard. You're responsible for that because they're underage. They're not ready yet. They're not at a stage in their life where they're able to do that, right? So just do that for them. It's you owe them that. You brought them here. We brought them here. So it's our duty to protect them. And if I had that protection when I was younger, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I turned out fine, but who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Who knows that? Thank you so much, Clesa, for chatting with us and sharing your story. We really appreciate it. And I know that your story will
You're
help
welcome.
a whole lot of people. Thanks again. Yeah, guys.
It's time to do better. Beacon's Be Better Group Health Plan now offers new and improved options that make health insurance affordable for small to medium businesses. Good medical cover gives you a competitive edge and takes care of the people that take care of your business. Get a better plan to build a better business. Call Beacon or log on to beacon.co.tt for more info today.
You call me to lift the level, high the level, raise the level, up it, up it.
What if you had a choice? A choice of joining a line or a choice of making your purchases online? What would you choose? While you ponder on that, the National Lotteries Authority has provided another purchasing option. All their games are now available online. Yes, Grenadians! From wherever you are, purchase your favorite daily and jackpot type games using any electronic device. Register on the NLA's website at www.nla.gd. Top up your account and enjoy online lottery gaming at your convenience. We're taking shopping comfort up, up, up several notches. But the choice is yours. Join a line or buy online. NLA, make your dreams come true.
You tell me to lift the level, high the level, raise the level, up it, up it.
Looking for a hassle-free way to rent a car in Grenada? Welcome to Ride Car Rental, offering efficient, time-saving service with affordable rates and 100% paperless rentals. Whether you're visiting or need a quick ride, we've got you covered. Call now at 473-422-1011 and get behind the wheel today. Ride Car Rental, where convenience meets the road.
Of your small handbag or whatever.
Are you looking to take your business or event to the next level? Advertise on Ride Along Live and reach over 10 million viewers worldwide every month. With a global audience tuning in for the latest news, entertainment, and culture, your message will get the exposure it deserves. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your brand to a diverse and engaged audience. Ride Along Live, where the world watches and your business grows. Contact us today to get started.
Gas prices got you down? Pick yourself up with Ride Rent a e-bike today and take advantage of the smartest and coolest way to get around. Rental starting for only $30 per hour and less than $100 EC per day. Zip through traffic, save money, and look awesome doing it. Check us out at the Esplanade Mall today. Visit us online at ridersebike.com or give us a call at 473-422-1011. Your wallet and the planet will thank you. Ride Rent a e-bike.